Hey, what do you say, Frankmeisters? Good evening. How's everyone doing this evening? Another long day of documents. You know how that works for me around this area. We had 5 filed by the defense yesterday. We've had 3 so far today that's been dropped, but I'm pretty sure and confident that there are more waiting to be dropped, including Nick's response to everything that's going on. Let's give a shout out to everybody and see how everybody's doing. So we're going to make this night 2 of defense motions filed part 2. We got Truth and Justice, Tina Stair, Gibbo, Witchcraft, Miss Carrie Summers. Good to see you. By the way, Carrie, I have your shirt right over here on my table. Metal Mama, Nana 73, 50 Shades of Faye, Mr. Gravitt, Mustang, Linda Harder, Ruckus Rocks. What's going on, brother? Let's see. Nana 73, Louise, GP, Joe Newman. Answer your question, Joe, that you asked me today. A couple people are still working on trying to find me a place to stay up there in Delphi for the trial. I know it starts next week, and we're kind of in a rush. We're still looking because everything's been booked out for over a month now up there in that area for this trial. Boss Mod Jinx is in the house. Gibbo, crazy ass. Melissa Wildcard, Scarlett, Constantine, Kelly O, Heather's Mirror, good to see you. Miranda Lee, Olivia 2, Timmy Waring, excuse me, Connie Williams, good to see you. Fretless Mayhem, good to see you. Susie. Deb, True Crime Notebook. Deb, your shirt is here. I got it today. Ziggy's, good to see you. And that's about it for right now. Looks like, well, man, you guys, people are already starting to message me while I'm live. Why do they do that? Let's see who it is. Yes, GP. You're talking about can't think of his name right off the hand, or GP, but it'll come to me here in a minute. Making sure we got everybody. Queen, the Queen's in the house. We'll go over a couple of these motions that were filed today and a couple of the rules of evidence that they're speaking about in one of the filings today, guys. So I'm starting to make it a habit now to show you guys the rules of evidence and the laws and stuff like that, so you guys get a better understanding what this stuff means, what they're saying in these filings. Just making sure I get everybody before we started going into this. Miss Pam Hurst, good to see you. Daily Survivors in the house. Good to see you, bud. All right. Well, I guess we'll go ahead and get this started. And give me just a second here. Got to find out which one I want to start with first. It's not that one. I hear you chewing over there, Blade. Not that one. I'm going to do it in order that they were dropped today. So we're going to cover the verification motion for certification of appearance regarding out-of-state witness. We're going to go over that one first, guys. Let me know if you guys see that well enough. You guys see that well enough? Yeah, apparently so. All right. Verified motion for certificate of appearance regarding out-of-state witness comes now. Bradley A. Rosie, counsel for defendant Richard M. Allen, pursuant to Indiana Code 35-37-5-5, and respectfully request that this court issue a certificate of appearance under the seal of the court. Directing material witness Dr. Monica Walla to appear and testify at the jury trial in this case. In support of said motion, Attorney Rosie swears and affirms as follows. Number one, the jury trial is in this matter set for commence on Monday, October 14, 2024 at 9 a.m., at which time jury selection will commence in Allen County, Indiana. By direction of the court, opening arguments will begin on Friday, October 18, 2024. While awaiting trial, defendant Allen was detained for a period greater than 1 year in the Westville Correctional Maximum Security Segregation Unit pursuant to a safekeeping order issued by the Honorable Judge Benjamin A. Diener on the 3rd day of November 2022. Pursuant to said order, custody of defendant Allen was transferred to the Indiana Department of Corrections while defendant Allen awaited trial. While at that facility, defendant Allen was assigned to psychologist Dr. Monica Walla, who was at the time employed by the Indiana Department of Corrections third-party mental health provider, Centurion. On or about July 31st, 2024, Dr. Walla remained employed at Centurion and testified at pretrial hearing in this cause. In the days following her testimony, Dr. Walla was issued a gate disclosure by the Indiana Department of Correction. It is believed that Dr. Walla is no longer employed with Centurion. The defense just recently became aware of said gate disclosure and apparent termination of employment with Centurion. Centurion's legal representative, attorney Robert Brandt, did communicate to Anthony Rosie via email on September 18, 2024, that he no longer represents Dr. Walla and cannot accept service for any subpoena or other documents directed to her. Attorney Brandt further represented that he no longer represents any other party or non-party involved in this case and therefore cannot accept service on behalf of Centurion or any other Centurion provider. Defendant Allen's attorney believes, but are not certain, that Dr. Walla currently resides at 4657 North Cantfield Avenue, Norridge, Illinois. Dr. Walla also confirming during prior testimony that she resides in the state of Illinois. Therefore, defendant Allen desires to secure the appearance and testimony of Dr. Walla, an out-of-state witness, through the process provided for in Indiana Code 35-37-5-5. Now, my question is, wouldn't this be doxing right here, giving her address out like that, knowing that it's going to get out to the public? Don't you think it's a little late to seal this? Makes no sense. Defendant Allen believes that Dr. Walla is a material witness in this case for the following reasons. Dr. Walla was assigned to Richard Allen as his treating psychologist while he was incarcerated at Westville Correctional Facility for over 1 year. Dr. Walla met with Richard Allen on numerous occasions during his stay at Westville, nearly all of which were intended to address and monitor the state of Richard Allen's mental health. Nearly all the communications between Dr. Walla and defendant Allen occurred in confidential and privileged therapeutic sessions. The state intends to introduce as evidence in this trial incriminating statements made by Richard Allen while incarcerated at Westville Correctional Facility. The defendant intends to provide that incriminating statements made by defendant Allen were involuntary and result from the conditions surrounding his incarceration. Here we go again. Dr. Waller was in a position such that her medical opinion regarding his psychiatric condition is relevant to these proceedings. The defense believes that Dr. Waller's testimony will require approximately 2 full days. Specifically request that this honorable court order Dr. Waller to appear on Monday, November 11th, 2024, and Tuesday, November 12th, 2024, to testify at the trial in this cause. Defendant Allen seeks a certificate of appearance from this court acknowledging Dr. Waller's materiality in this cause and specifically the number of days Dr. Waller will be required to attend the trial in this cause. Defendant Allen further requests that said order be certified under the seal of this court. Defendant Allen then intends to present such order to court of record in Cook County, Illinois, the county and state in which Dr. Waller is believed to reside. Defendant Allen intends to utilize this process to secure Dr. Waller's appearance at the trial in this cause, and defendant Allen intends to tender a sum for expenses equal to the amount provided under Indiana Code 33-37-10-2 to reimburse Dr. Waller for her attendance at the trial. All fees which shall be charged upon Carroll County, Indiana, where this prosecution is pending. Yeah, it makes no damn sense to me. Why would they do this, put the address out there? If they didn't want, they should have known better than that. Put her physical address out there like that? I mean, come on, guys. That's incompetency right there. I'm sorry. I know you're an attorney and all, but you never put their legal address on court documents, knowing that they're subject to the public. I'm going through the chat now on that one. I did not miss you this time, Queen. I got you. What do you mean, Faye? Laugh my ass off. He always starts in at this time. I swear he knows. Laugh out loud. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm pretty sure they did because when me and Rescue attended the Supreme Court hearing, they had press passes, and I believe they came from Court TV. Going through the chat. You like my shirt there, Pam? Old chaps. Amelia, good to see you. Ruckus Frank. Oh, okay. He wants to come up here? Oh, Lordy, Lord. All righty there. There is the link, Ruckus. Still going through the chat here. I sent the link wherever Mr. Clean's at. Miss Carrie Summers, you're so kind. Thank you for the super sticker, $4.99. Hey, there's several of us that are on top of it. Myself, Turbo, and a couple other people that are on top of it for everybody in the community. Not just my channel, but everybody else's channel. I share with as many people as I can. So they're not sitting there blowing up my phone. Hey, what did them documents say? Hey, do you have them documents? I tend to send them to most of the creators is what I do. Yeah, Scarlett, that right there, that should have been under seal. That should have never been released. Now the subpoena or the ones for the inmates we know where they're at, so there's no sense of hiding it. Oh, what's Laura's got to say? If Dr. Wallace sees this, you did amazing, and my heart went out to you on the stand. Yeah, I liked it. Honestly, when she was up there, she got right back in Rosie's ass on the first day or the second day. Yeah, Scarlett, she kind of did, snooping her nose in, using company time and resources to look into the Keegan Klein case. That part she did. What the fuck? Be right back. I'm going to grab my, what is that? Oh, his beer. That's what that is. Exactly, Olivia. I do not understand that. File it with the court and then send copies out with redacted address. Yes, that's what they're saying, Kate. They were involuntary. He ain't been on in a while, Constantine. Well, there it's pinned up there now. Exactly, Scarlett. She used her position and company resources, which I'm pretty sure is a no-no. Give me a second, guys. Freshly made shirts, guys. Y'all see that? And this is what it looks like on the back. There he is. There's Fathead. Come on, Fathead.
What up, brother?
Shit. Wasting time. What are you doing?
Yeah, same thing. I'm out by the pool. I've started tearing down the studio, so I'm sitting out by the pool.
Yeah, got your cold one too, huh?
2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Cigar, all that. It's been a long day, dude. We have a lot of oak trees that has that moss on it, so it's everywhere.
Right.
So, and we had a tree fall on the fence, so I had to fix that, but no big deal. I've had enough of this hurricane shit. I'm moving.
You say
About
that now.
700 feet, about
Yeah.
700 feet down the road and across the street.
Good
Hopefully
to
there
see.
won't be none there like there is here.
Good to see you, Vid. So, what's going on, brother? Besides that,
Not much. I haven't been keeping up too much. I mean, you and I talk. You're my channel of information,
yeah.
but in Discord, obviously. But all
Did,
this stuff that the defense is doing right now, this is all appeal fodder. That's all they're doing. They know it's going to be denied. They're doing it on purpose so it gets on record.
right. And we done figured out why Keegan and Mr. Haas are being brought in.
Why is that?
Well, they're going to testify outside the jury just to get their statement on record, because we all know about Keegan allegedly confessing to him and his dad were there that day. And then you got Mr. Haas, which was the old cellmate of Mr. Ron Logan, claiming that Ron, was put in the cell butt naked and he was on the floor doing some nasty shit, calling out with one of the girls. And I called bullshit on that a couple of years ago when that came out. And I said, no, that motherfucker's just saying that so he can get people to start sending him money just like Keegan was doing. Same shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's all just to get this shit on record.
Right.
And now they want to bring Max in to work on the case with him and pay him. I mean, he is important because the whole time they were bitching that their client was too far away, they weren't even fucking going there. They were sending Max, the scarecrow. The scarecrow was going there. So at least now he can get paid.
Hey, Queen, the trial is in Delphi, Carroll County. They're just having the jury selection up in Allen County. The next one.
Are you going to go, Frank? If you can?
I'm still trying, dude. I've still got Sarah and somebody else trying to find me a place to stay up there because the hotels and everything have been booked for months, dude.
Yeah.
Carrie, once again, thank you. You're a sweetheart for the $1.99. No, there is no cameras whatsoever going to happen. Nothing.
What about Google glasses? They're going to allow Google glasses?
Gray bands. And
They're
you
going
know
to check
what's
see if
so,
people have fake eyes and shit. If you have a fake eye, you can't get in.
and what's fucked up, man, is that the next reading, we might as well get to it now. They're trying to bring in Odin again, and I'm just like, you've got to be freaking kidding me.
They're just doing that for post-conviction relief. That's all they're doing it for. They're going to say, we tried to bring in valuable evidence and it wasn't allowed. And that's one of the things that a post-conviction relief can be brought upon. Even if he pleads guilty right now, they can use that as post-conviction relief because evidence was not allowed. It's not going to get him anywhere.
Right, exactly.
But at least it's something.
All right. Defendant's motion to incorporate evidence presented at the August 1st pretrial hearing into offer of proof at trial. Jesus, we got to go through this shit. FUD. All right. Comes now the accused, Richard Allen, by and through counsel, and respectfully ask this court to consider this motion regarding his offer of proof. In support of this motion, the accused submits the following. A hearing was held on several motions, including the state's motion in limine in this matter on July 30th through the 1st of 2024. During those hearings, particularly those on July 30th and August 1st, testimony was taken regarding paragraph 7 of the state's motion, which argues that evidence of third-party suspects and motive, including those practicing Norse paganism, Odinism, should be excluded from trial. At the hearing, the defense presented its proposed evidence through certain exhibits as well as testimony of Dr. Dawn Perlmutter. Oh, God. Kevin Murphy, Todd Click, Amber Holder, Jerry Holman, and Chris Cecil, and Patrick Cicero, and argued that this evidence should be used at trial to argue that third-party suspects committed the crimes and or that the murders were likely involved in Norris.
Yeah, but Frank, what they're talking about there, right, is offer to show proof. So what they're saying is the judge says, okay, listen, if you guys can come up with a nexus for any of these people, I'll listen to it outside
the presence of the jury.
And then we'll take it from there. So what they're trying to do is say, okay, listen, we want to introduce this evidence again that she's already said, no, I'm not allowing it. So they know it's going to get shot down. This is just lawyers being lawyers. You know, they're just lawyering. This is for future litigation.
Yeah, so that's basically what this covers here. Is this one here is about Odinism, guys. So we're not going to go through all this. Let's go to the limine, whatever you want to call it.
Call it whatever you want, dude. Lemonade, lime, limine. Who cares? We know what it is.
I got to find it real quick. There it is.
It's good to see everybody. I don't like to hijack lives, so when I go in, I say hello, but you know, I don't want to hijack lives, but it's good to see everyone. Made it through the hurricane okay. I saved the kitten.
Did he live?
He did live. Surprisingly.
Really?
Yeah, he's doing well. I'm surprised.
All right. You there? What the hell that? Okay.
I'm here.
All right. Motion in limine. The defense, Richard M. Allen. Defendant, Richard M. Allen, by counsel Bradley A. Rosie. How comes it's always Rosie? I've never seen anything by Baldwin. Moves the court as follows. Defendant Allen is charged with 2 separate counts of felony murder pursuant to IC Code 35-42-1-1, Section 2. Defendant Allen has reason to believe that the state of Indiana may seek to admit at the trial of this cause testimony from various prison guards, inmates, law enforcement officers, and possibly the testimony of the Indiana Department of Corrections staff members as to defendant Allen's mental state during his detention at the Westville Correctional Facility and Wabash Valley Correctional Facility.
Now hold it right there, Frank, for 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Everything at those two facilities was videoed and audio recorded. So that testimony is relevant. It's just like his wife. She does not have to testify against him, but they could compel her to testify to say, is this you on the other end of this phone
Right.
call?
Right.
Did you? Same thing with these guards and prison staff. Is that you? Yes. Is that you speaking? Yes. That's it.
Right. The defense believes that the state's offering of said testimony will be driven by their desire to use said guards, inmates, administrators, law enforcement officers to establish the veracity of alleged incriminating statements made by defendant Allen. The specific individuals have been identified on both the state's witness list and defendant's witness list, which were exchanged between the parties prior to the filing of this motion.
Hang on right there for 1 second. So they exchanged witness lists, and they have some common witnesses in that list. So they're not differentiating, saying that some of these people we don't want.
Right.
They're on their list as well. But they know that the state goes first.
Right.
So that's what they're doing. They're setting this up to where, listen, we know we got their list. They have our list. Some of them are overlapping the same witnesses, but they get to go first.
Right.
Which is more powerful than a cross-examination, unless you're a real talented attorney, which these guys appear to be. But the
they're no
state going
Johnny
first is
Cochran.
huge.
They're not Johnny Cochran.
Well, you know how it is, man. The first one that tells wins.
Right. The defense desires not to list each and every witness in this motion so as to maintain some credibility, taking into consideration the public interest in this case and the forthcoming trial. The defense will offer up the names of said witnesses at a hearing on this motion or upon request by the court, whichever applies. Defendant Allen believes that such testimony would violate Rule 701 of the Indiana Rule of Evidence. The witnesses do not have sufficient life experiences that would permit making a judgment as to mental state of defendant Allen on the dates and time in question or on any date and time before or after Richard Allen's arrest.
Hold it right there for 1 second, Frank. Before you can get hired into law enforcement, you have to have life experience. You can't get out of high school, go to the academy, and be a cop at 18 years old, because you go to a trailer park for domestic battery between two 60-year-olds and some 18-year-old snot-nosed kids at the door. What the hell's he going to tell you about life?
Right.
So what they're trying to say is these people lack life experience. That's what they're trying to say. They're too young.
Right.
And so that just doesn't, they have the same witnesses. They're going to get to cross-examine and examine those witnesses, direct examine. So they're saying they're too young. Basically, that's a fancy way when they say they don't have enough life experience. You don't need a degree in psychology to know somebody's crazy.
Right.
We all know that. We all have neighbors, right? Look at all your neighbors and you can pick out who the crazy ones are. They're saying they don't have life experience. In other words, they're too young. That's all. I just want to interject that.
Said testimony would violate Rule 702 of the Indiana Rule of Evidence, as the prison guards, inmates, law enforcement officials, and some of the administrators have no expertise in the field of mental health and therefore are not qualified to draw such conclusions. Said testimony violates Rule 704 of the Indiana Rule of Evidence, as testimony amounts to the witness drawing an opinion on an ultimate issue, whether or not the witness believes the defendant Allen is guilty of the charges alleged. Finally, said testimony would also violate Rule 403 of the Indiana Rule of Evidence, as it tends to be confusing and misleading to the jury due to the lack of expertise in the field of mental health with regard to any of the referenced witnesses, and such evidence is not necessary for a full and fair determination of the facts in this cause. Now, I'm going to go over these Indiana rules of evidence, these three that they were, or four they were talking about. Give me just a second.
All right, while you're doing that, Frank, you notice they are not refuting Richard Allen's statements. They're not refuting those. What they're trying to do is taint the people who heard these and how they interpreted them.
Right.
They're too young. They're not experts. Yada yada yada. That's not going to mean anything in the eyes of the jury. So they're
All
not
right.
refuting what he said. They're not saying, well, he never said any of that, or he's under duress, or anything like that. They're saying, hey, these people that heard all this are not professionals
All right.
in mental health.
Rule 701. Lay witnesses can provide opinions based on their personal observations as long as the opinions are relevant and helpful to the jury. For example, a witness might describe the speed of a car they saw or the emotional state of someone they interacted with. However, lay witnesses cannot provide legal conclusions, opinions, or their own credibility or opinions on what another person thinks or feels. Rule 702. Expert witnesses can provide opinions based on their specialized knowledge, training, or experience. Rule 704. Testimony in the form of any opinion, an opinion on ultimate issue is not automatically objective. All right. Now we're going to go to the rule 403. Come on.
Hey, you got a loud ass mouse, dude.
Mouse?
Yeah, I can hear click, 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 click.
Oh,
What is that?
it's my mouse.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
I was like, what the hell are you talking about, man? All right. Indiana Rule 403 states that a court can exclude relevant evidence if it is probative value is outweighed by the risk of unfair prejudice, misleading the jury, confusing the issues, wasting time, and presenting cumulative evidence needlessly. Evidence is considered prejudicial if it has a substantial risk of arousing the jury's emotions, bias, or prejudice, misleading or confusing the jury about facts or law. Judges have broad discretion in ruling on whether to exclude evidence under Rule 403. Some factors that judges consider when determining if evidence is prejudicial include whether the evidence is likely to shock the jury, whether the evidence involves a subject that is likely to upset the jury, such as sex, drugs, or rock and roll. Whether less prejudicial evidence is available. The Indiana rule of evidences are important for anyone facing criminal charges in the state. These rules govern what evidence can be admitted and can have a significant impact. So,
now you understand what those rules are establishing, right?
Yes.
This is not Nick against the defense. This is the state of Indiana versus Richard Allen. So we can take all these attorneys out and plug them in. That's why these rules are there. So they're doing their job. I mean, I have to give the defense credit, man. They're doing their job. They're setting everything up. This is all appeal fodder to me. They're setting it up for post-conviction relief. But they're trying to steer the judge in their direction, but it's not going to happen because she's already ruled. If they stray off of that 136-page
memorandum, yes,
in support of the Franks motion, they're going to look like nitwits. And you don't think Nick's going to point that out? You know,
I think Nick's got something for him.
Yeah, he
Honestly,
does.
I do.
Evidence, hard evidence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Now,
hold on a second. Hey there, Mears. I'm not selling t-shirts at the walk. You got to go to my merch account. I posted the link. Hold on, matter of fact, I got the link in here somewhere. Here's the link if you guys want to order the shirt. That's the only thing.
If I want a shirt, I'll hook you up with my tailor. He's called Omar the Tent Maker.
Yeah.
So you can get me a shirt.
You can either send me a request and I will order the shirt and you would have to send me the money so I could pay the balance, or you could go to the same site and just directly order it from them. But I just have two of them because I had two of them were expedited because one's going to one of the family members and one is going to one of our mods, Carrie. So when I'm at the walk on Sunday, I got to meet up with one of the family members.
Now,
That
can you
Blake.
imagine if the judge allowed all of this Odinist shit in? The defense team, once they brought up their expert, their art expert,
What expert?
somebody be walking down the aisle with sage and incense and all that bullshit,
Right.
trying to sway the jury. But the judge is handling this exactly the right way. I want him to have a fair trial. I want him to be convicted if he's guilty and let go if he's not. And if there's a mistake made, there needs to be a correction. But the defense team's doing exactly what they should do to make a correction.
Right. Laura is asking you, what do you think of them giving such a noble teaching experience to their interns?
Yeah, well, she's talking about Max there, I
Yeah.
assume.
Yeah.
The Scarecrow. I have names for the whole defense team from The Wizard of Oz, and Max is the Scarecrow.
Oh, you stole my Scarecrow, dude.
Yeah, well,
I've been calling all the Delphi bimbos, dingwats, the Scarecrows, because the Scarecrow on The Wizard of Oz didn't have a damn brain.
well, here's the thing, and that's not a knock on Max. And here's what's funny. The defense team is putting in, we can't use these correctional officers or staff members that do not have quote unquote life experience. How much life experience does Max have?
Well, no kidding. He
Uh,
can't. He doesn't even look like he's 20 years old to me.
dude, come on, dude. He's still shitting green. He's a
Right.
bitty. He's a jitterbug. But that's what they all do. I mean,
Yeah,
this ain't brand new. This is what they all do.
Max is getting some experience in trial. There's no doubt about that. It's going to be good on his resume.
Yeah, but what life experience does he have? The defense is against anybody testifying that does not have life experience. In other words, they're not old enough. But they want to bring in an intern, a jitterbug, and use him in the case. I hope he gets a chance to run some of it, to direct or cross-examine or whatever. I hope he has something to do with it. I mean, good for him. I'm not mad at him. He may turn out to be an excellent attorney someday.
Right. Prayer walk this Sunday, guys. 1:30, 1600 Old Camden Road in Delphi. Be there or be square.
But just let me be clear. I'm not knocking Max at all. I don't know the kid. I'm sure he's a good kid. But it's like the defense is going. They're using the same thing. They're saying, well, these witnesses are no good. They don't have life experience. Oh, and by the way, we want to bring Max in, who's wet behind the ears still. It's just, but they all do it. You got to start somewhere.
Scarlet Letter says they don't want to have to put all that shit at trial because it will take too long. So they are asking her to just consider it with the new stuff they will put on. They ain't got nothing to put on.
She's already ruled. She's already ruled on that. That's cool. But outside the jury, you can present it to me, and I'll decide whether or not the jury can hear it or not.
That's exactly what they're doing here.
And I've been saying, it's all appeal fodder.
And like I've been saying for the last couple of weeks, they're trying to backdoor their way into the Odin crap. Is what they're doing here.
They'll get it. They'll get it in there, Frank. If Nick leaves the door open a little bit, they'll kick it in until the judge stops it. And that's what they're supposed to do. I'm not mad at them.
Jury selections up in Allen County, Queen. Constantine, in fairness, since how now there's no cameras on murder sheet will be vital for the next few weeks.
Now, Frank, you've been the foreman on a jury before, correct?
Yes, I have.
Okay, can you imagine being on this jury and all of these interruptions? And, what would you think?
Honestly, I mean, it's like I was talking today with Miss Deb, and I was talking to one of my contacts with the news station, and they agreed. It almost seems like they're doing this intentionally. I understand it's for the appeal stuff going on, but it's almost like they're trying to do this intentionally to clog up Judge Gold's court calendar to rule on all this shit and to cause a delay. That's what it feels like to me.
Her calendar's clear right now.
Well, I mean, you got 8 fucking motions she's got to rule on by. I know she's got 30 days, but there is no 30 days. You got jury selection for the next 3 days. Then she's got meetings all day on the 17th, and then the trial starts on next Friday.
Yeah, but this is all, Frank, she's already ruled on all of this stuff. So this is just them setting up for an appeal. She's already ruled on all of it. And just real quick for people that are listening, yeah, the Evansdale case, we're working it. We're working it hard. We got a little bit of movement on it. As soon as I can get everything settled here, I'm heading out there, and I'll be. I talked to Drew today, and he said hello to everybody. By the way, but we'll get going with that. I haven't really been following this case, just in Discord and talking with Frank. Frank and I speak almost daily, huh, Frank?
Yeah. GP wanted to know, did they ever debunk the truck in the beating, the white truck? Wasn't that Maxwell's truck that they were talking about? Ruckus.
I'm not sure.
I think it might have been
No,
the
I think that
Maxwell
was
truck.
Brad. Brad had a white truck or a white van.
He had a white van, but they're talking about a pickup truck. I do recall them talking about that early on.
Yeah, and fuck him. He's a wacko too, dude. But it'll come out. I mean, this shit'll come out. I mean, we're right there. We're on the cusp of it.
Right.
And people are going to be surprised at what the state has. If you think they have nothing, you're wrong.
Oh, yeah. It's like I got into with somebody over in the Facebook group that I was an administrator for. And I told her, I said, I can almost guarantee you that there's a piece of evidence that we don't know about that's going to slam dunk this case.
Well, why would Nick not want the geofencing in?
Because it's unreliable.
That's not the only reason. That's not the only reason. You're right, though. I'm not saying you're wrong, but that's not the only reason. There's still things that they cannot put together. They can't piece them together in the public.
Right.
And they will during the trial. It'll come out. And it's all games. They know the defense team's going to try and bring that in. And so they're sucking them in. I mean, that's great evidence, dude. If we had geofencing on who was there,
right,
that's great evidence. So, they're sucking them in. Let them bring it in and see what happens to them.
Gail Hurd gifted the membership again, guys. Go ahead, Ruckus.
No, that's okay. That's all I had. That geofencing is a good tool for law enforcement. So for them not to want it in, there's a reason for it, and they're sucking in the defense. They're sucking them in. Go ahead, bring that up.
Misty Free Spirit gifted a membership. Thank you. We're going to have fun on Sunday. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, I wish I could be there. I really do.
I'm just reading. Junior Johnson made it in. Not a whole lot of questions going on. Yeah, but my only problem is that they're trying to bring this shit all up again, and Judge ruled, like you said, she's already ruled no, no, no. And they're still trying. I mean, she's going by the letter of the law. I mean, why can't they understand that? There's no nexus, and they know this.
Well, they're doing their job.
Right.
Frank.
But it's making them look fucking stupid, honestly. To me, it does.
Well, to me, it's the opposite. They're really doing everything they can for their client. Again, it's not Nick against the defense team. It's the state against Richard Allen.
Everybody talking Ron Logan's probably cutting the grass. War Kitten, good to see you. Well, they're just
Now,
talking
why
like
do you
it.
think? Let me ask you this: why do you think that they're putting in transport orders for all these other inmates? Why
Well,
do
we
you think
already,
that is?
yeah, like I said, they want to get their statements on record outside the jury. It's for it
But
set up for an appeal.
what does Keegan Klein have to? Well, the state's wanting to talk to Keegan too, aren't they?
I don't know if he's on up because we have not seen the state's witness list since last February.
Okay.
And
So
now they're
the
wanting the
defense,
witness list is they want the witness list sealed, basically, is what they're wanting to do here.
and they should. To be honest with you, they should. But what would the defense team gain by interviewing? What direct
Reasonable,
examining?
it's a reasonable doubt because we
Okay.
know that Keegan said in the past that him and his dad were there, but there is
But
no
they
physical.
can't do that in front of the jury.
Right.
So they're
So,
trying to sway Judge Gull or just get it on record
yeah.
for an appeal or post conviction relief.
Let's see.
But that walk should be pretty good. I wish I could be there for that. That should be pretty good.
I'm
And
expecting a bigger turnout this time too.
I hope nobody's not going because of all the YouTube bullshit.
I done spoke my piece on that shit, and I made it very clear. Your ass comes out there causing ruckus, you're gonna have ruckus with me. I made it very clear to him. You come up, but there ain't no belly bumping me. And I'm straight up. You come up trying to pull that crap on me, I'm swinging. And you want to go and bow up and start screaming at women, I'll bow up on you. Come and scream at me.
Well, don't even sweat that, dude.
Yeah, I'm just
Don't
tired
even
of,
sweat that. That's
it's
just for attention and acceptance of a couple hundred people who watch YouTube. So
yeah.
I wouldn't sweat that. I wouldn't sweat that.
Weber had a white van. I've got a picture of it. Everybody's waiting on Evansdale next.
It's coming.
Yeah, the geofencing, like Lois says, it's confusing. It's made for confusion.
It's a great tool. It's a great tool. Man, when you geofence an area, you get thousands of pages of information. So you have to weed through who lives in that area, who has a reason to be in that area. It takes a long time to narrow it down. So all of this stuff that there was 3 phone numbers in that area at the time of the crime when we don't even know the crime, right? Everybody's bitching about the timelines off, the timelines off. Well, we'll have one pretty soon. Law
Yep.
enforcement knows the timeline.
Yep.
So we'll have one pretty soon. So all this talk about, the timeline's no good. What fucking timeline? The probable cause just says that he was there during this time and that time, puts himself there. Other people seen him there, and nobody saw him after. And there is plenty. I've showed that probable cause to so many people in law enforcement, and they're all like, "There's a shitload of probable cause to arrest that guy." But the timeline is not critical. Law enforcement's going to nail it right down. It's not going to be critical to the defense. They're not going to be able to poke holes in the timeline. Put it that way.
Hello, Miss Van Oven. Your husband messaged me this morning. I'm just trying to catch up on the Sammy Day. Next thing you know, the defense is going to ask Bigfoot to testify.
Well, if it helps their client, they'll damn sure do it. I know that's comical and all that, but they're doing whatever they can to build a case for an appeal / post conviction relief. If he's smart, he'll change his plea. If he's smart, if they've talked him into that, they think that he is going to win this. they're wrong.
Stephanie, I remember watching that show that night, and they were trying to claim that Richard Allen's Sixth Amendment right was violated for allegedly not having an attorney at the safekeeping hearing, which he did have an attorney at the safekeeping hearing. And I think he got embarrassed because he was wrong, and now he's afraid to show his face. Talking about Phoenix.
Oh, fuck Phoenix.
Well,
I've had that fucker blocked since day one.
Well, they got news coming to them, Mustang, if they show up over there.
Well, if that's what they want to do, I mean, we can't control what people say or do.
Right.
We can only control how we react to it. And personally, I don't have to announce what I'm going to react to. So, you know, if they want to do that, they're doing that for a few hundred strangers on YouTube.
Right.
For their attention and acknowledgement, you know. It's not worth it, guys. It's really not worth it.
And Roxy's got a good point. It's all about these two young ladies right here, guys. Can you see that? Or is this these two young ladies right here? It ain't about me. It ain't about Ruckus. It ain't about any other creators. Even though those bimbo wackos try to make it about themselves.
Yeah, none of that matters. The evidence isn't going to change. It's the state of Indiana against Richard Allen, period. Not against Ruckus, not against Frank, not against anybody else, not against the defense attorneys. It's the whole state of Indiana against Richard Allen.
Indy asked, "Why aren't you going, Ruckus?" He's been having a house built.
I've got so much going on; it's ridiculous.
Right.
This house closes on the 24th, and so we've got to move. We got to find a place to stay. And the whole time, I'm doing most of the work on the new house because I know I'll do it right. It's not that it's not a money thing. I know that I'll do it correctly. So, and on top of it all, my builder lived right on the water, and he lost his whole house in Helene.
Oh,
yeah. So, you know, that poor guy. I was like, "Is there anything I can do to help you?" You know, but it'll happen. I'm not sweating it. As soon as I get Bonnie settled in and we rent a place and all that, you know, I'm heading out to Evansdale. I've got about a month worth of things to do out there because we do have movement out there.
Lois is asking, have you talked about Todd Click? He's talking about you. Nope. Todd Click hadn't even been mentioned yet.
Now, Todd Click was second in command. He was the undersheriff. He was on the fast track, right? Now, that is a political environment. So if another sheriff got elected, you know, I could see him losing his favor. But now he's all the way down to a probation and parole. Now, usually in a political environment like that, like a sheriff's office, if another sheriff gets elected and they let you go because you're a captain or above, you just go to another county and you get a job there, you know, because you have supervisory experience. But for some reason, he got busted all the way down to probation and parole. So he lost his arrest powers. So, and now they're saying that, and I know this, that he had some Brady violations that were getting looked at, which means he was lying to get things accomplished. So it's not. That's what causes a Frank's motion,
right?
In a criminal trial. But if it's not a criminal trial and they find out that you know he's lying or embellishing, that's a Brady violation. So he was under investigation for that, whether or not it's still ongoing or they just squashed it because he resigned or agreed to step down or retired, right? But now they're saying that he falsified documents as a probation and parole officer.
No, that was DCS.
Yeah, but as a probation and parole officer, though, he wasn't working for DCS. He was probation and parole at that time. So if somebody was on probation or parole and they had kids and DCS got involved, he falsified those documents. It's kind of hard to follow along with that, but
yeah, he got 2 felonies and a misdemeanor, and basically what's going to happen there, you're looking at 5 years max prison time and some fines. If it's his first offense, being arrested, being charged with anything, more than likely he's going to get a slap on the wrist. He's probably going to get some probation time.
And again, it's a political environment, a sheriff's office.
Yeah.
So, he may have fell victim to that. He may not be guilty of any of this stuff. He's been charged with it, and he's been looked at for Brady violations. But that's not out of the norm, Frank, in a political environment like a sheriff's office. When a new sheriff comes in, they clean house,
Right.
So I don't know the guy, but I know this. Frank. The 3 guys that were assigned to that task force, right? One of them unfortunately got murdered, and I don't think it's a conspiracy or anything.
Mm-mm.
But I don't think any of them were trying to build their careers on that case. I don't think that they were being shady or underhanded. They collected information and they thought it was legit, and they still do think it's legit. I don't think they're bad people. I think they were doing their job. But it just so happens that whoever they turned that information to, whether it was the investigators or the task force for Delphi, they decided that wasn't a good lead.
Look for them, right?
Yeah, it wasn't a good lead. So they decided to not go with it. Now, if it turns out that it was a good lead, well, then that's going to bite them in the ass. That'll all come out in trial. But I don't think Click's a bad guy. And who's the third guy? Who was the other one? Ferenzi?
Oh, that's the one that was killed. Yeah.
Okay. And who's the third? And who's the third?
Murphy.
Who's the third one?
Murphy.
All right. Where the fuck is Murphy right now?
He was a defense witness at the 3-day hearing, and he turned on them too as a defense witness.
Okay. So
I was like,
yeah.
damn.
So why aren't Nick needs to have him as a witness? Not to start any shit, but to get to the bottom of it. Okay, you guys were a task force. Here's the information you came up with. What's your opinion? Now, I know Click said on a TV interview or whatever that nobody in law enforcement thinks that this is a ritual killing. So whether he believes that or not, who knows? People say things when they're on TV, but Murphy's the key right here, not Click. Click could be he could be the victim of politics, But where's Murphy? They need to bring Murphy into the limelight. He was part of that task force, and I think they all had good intentions. I don't think they got together and said, "Hey, fuck Richard Allen. He didn't do it. Let's get these guys." No, they did their investigation, and that's what they came up with.
Good night, Jinx. I know it's husband time. Talk to you soon. Have a good night, girl.
Have a good night, Jinx. I can't stand you. I'll be right back, Frank.
All right, buddy. I'll be live streaming from the War Kittens. Well, he was willing to cut his witness list down. That was at the Allen County hearings because they got the big old spiff because the defense team was requesting for an extra 2 weeks for the trial. And so basically what happened is the judge asked Nick how long would it take him to wrap up his case. And he basically told him, he says, I can't give a figure like that, Your Honor. I don't know how long it's going to take. So, and he offered to cut down his witness list also. So, man, you guys are being generous tonight. I got Carrie, Vid, GP, Nana, Gail Hurd, Misty Free Spirit, Olivia too, Nana, and Carrie again, all donated to support the live tonight. Man, you guys are great. Thank you so much. And like I said before, if anybody's interested in that's not it. That's not the one. Anybody interested in getting one of those shirts that I had designed, there's the link. You can write it down, or you can go to my YouTube community page, and the link is right there.
I'm back.
Yeah, just going over everybody that's donated tonight.
Oh, nice. But Click has testified before in his career.
Yeah.
He's been prepped. He's been surprised. He's been ambushed. He's been sideswiped. He's been through it all. So I'm not worried about him at all.
Right. I don't even think he's going to I don't think he'll let him testify now. I doubt it. One of your witnesses just gets arrested.
Well, it depends. I mean, in this case, Frank, I mean, it's a capital murder.
Yeah.
You know, no matter which way you slice it. What he's being accused of is internal things. You know, so we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I know to some people that have never been in law enforcement, don't understand how it works, the political nature of it, and all that. He could be a victim in this of political bullshit, but I don't think they'll not let him testify because of this. I mean, he's been accused of it. He hasn't been found guilty of it yet.
Right.
So, I mean, I'd like to hear what he has to say. To be honest with you, I'd like to hear what everybody has to say. Outside of, I mean, to be honest with you, if she let the Odinist shit in, I know it would take forever, and it
Right.
would cloud the jury, but it would satisfy every angle, and that's what we can all hope for as American citizens. Now, our Constitution, everything we have that comes into play here, they're all amendments that happened way after 1776. You know, there are amendments, Fourth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, all that.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Those violations.
our
But
Constitution has been modified so much over the last 200 something years.
yeah, but that's what the amendments are for, you know. And then there's state constitutions and state amendments; those all come into play, and some of those override federal constitutions, depending on the state. Yeah, it's a hot mess.
It is a mess.
Yeah, as law enforcement, you have to use your gut feeling. If somebody's fucking up, arrest them. You know, let them sort it out.
We'll watch Nick going to use 3 weeks of the trial dates. You only give the defense 1 week.
I honestly, I can't see the judge saying that that's it, we're done. She's going to let the defense, now that she's, I hate to use these words, but now that she's handcuffed them from their original plan, you can't cut them short on time. But a lot of this stuff, Nick's going to bring them up there for direct and bang, 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 bang. And then the cross examination is going to take forever. And then the redirect will take a little time. So the defense does have some control over the length of this trial by the way they cross examine and stuff like that. Depends, you know, they got to take the pulse of the jury, you know.
Right. Good night, Misty Free Spirit. It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. Have a good night. Well, we're at over an hour now. Is there anything else final that you got to say, Ruckus, or anything that you need to put out there?
No, sir. I just jumped on to keep you company.
All right. I appreciate you coming up, sir. It's nice seeing you. Well, I can't see you, your bald head, but it's good talking to you.
Good talking to you too, dude. I'll talk to you soon, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, most definitely.
All right, everybody have a good night and don't take any wooden nickels.
Good night, Ruckus. All right. I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. We done covered what we needed to cover tonight. I especially want to thank Carrie, Vivid Inquiries, GP, Nana, Gail Hurd, Mr. Free Spirits, Olivia, Nana, and Carrie again for all the donations and supporting my live tonight, guys. I love you for everything you guys have done. To my mods, the best mods in the game, thank you for coming out and hanging out. Love you guys. And to everybody in the chat, thanks for coming out and hanging out. Next thing comes out, you know, I'll go live. So beware, be square, be watching out. You know what time it is. Peace out. One love, guys. Good night. Love you.